Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Odell. This is a schema-based lesson plan for SPED 513. This presentation is about the life lessons taught in the Harry Potter book series that I learned personally. So the purpose of this lesson is to teach you about the life lessons that the Harry Potter series instills in its readers, in particular me as the reader. Each slide contains a picture of the art that is featured before each chapter in the Harry Potter series, and I just picked some of my favorite ones. Alright, so what is Harry Potter? Harry Potter is a book series written by J.K. Rowling. The first book out of the 7 was released in 1997, and the last book was released in 2007. Some facts about the book series. The books have been sold over 500 million times throughout the world. In the US in particular, over 180 million books have been sold. The 7th and final book, released in 2007, sold over 8 million copies in its first 24 hours, and each book before that had broken the record of the book before it, up to the last book. What was Harry Potter about? The book series was about a boy named Harry Potter, obviously, who was given completely terrible circumstances in his life. His parents died before he turned 1, and actually right after he turned 1. And later on in life, he finds out that he's a wizard, and he finds out the details about how his parents were killed, and he figures out who did it, and it comes to a head where he confronts his parents' murderers, and the book series is virtually a build-up to that moment. So, and that happens in the 7th book. Alright, what Harry Potter meant to me personally. Harry Potter defined my childhood. I look back on my childhood, and one of the things that stands out is the importance of Harry Potter to everything that I was doing. I was kind of a nerd, and I loved reading, and I've read each of these books at least 20 times. Some of them aren't very short, like the fifth one in particular is over 800 pages, and they're amazing, and I draw a lot of the things that I've learned about life in general, and about relationships, and about friendships, and about how to act as a human being based on the lessons and values that I learned from Harry Potter. I just remember finishing the first book by the light of my flashlight in my room when I was 9 years old. I remember staying up until midnight to drive to Walmart when I was 16 to buy the 7th book in the series. And I remember going to the movie premieres at midnight. I remember staying up all day, like buying the book at midnight and staying up all day to read it to see how fast I can read it. I read the 7th book in roughly 7 hours, and I ended up starting reading it later on that day. So these books have really stuck with me, and even making this PowerPoint has made me want to read them all over again. So in the book, you have 4 houses. You have Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. These houses form Harry Potter's school, which is known as Hogwarts. So when the students get sent to Hogwarts, they get sorted into each one of those houses, and the reason why they're sorted is because of their values, or the things that they reflect on, and how they react to situations in life. And so each house represents a different kind of person. Like a Ravenclaw is very witty and smart, and they virtually all are just very intelligent. Hufflepuff are just kind of easygoing, they're loyal, they're patient. Gryffindor are seen as the brave people. You see here hero, valiant, they're arrogant, but they're also chivalrous. And then finally you have Slytherin. They're more like the evil, but also very talented and triumphant, and manipulative, but very, very, very ambitious. So from now on, I'll be talking about some of the lessons and values that I learned from reading Harry Potter. So the first one is always doing the right thing. Throughout the whole book series, you see the main characters getting put into situations where they could either take the easy way out or do the not so great thing, or they could end up doing the right thing. And at various points during the book, you see the main characters taking the easy way out, and sometimes that end game is not as great as they expected it to be. But in the long run, you have some of the characters kind of coaxing the other characters into doing the right thing. And always doing the right thing will be rewarded in the end. Um, in each of these circumstances, you have good versus evil, and Voldemort versus Dumbledore, and Dumbledore eventually dies, but in the end, good does end up winning. And here you have Professor Umbridge, a very, very, very evil professor who served in Hogwarts during the fifth book, and she met her match in Harry Potter, and she eventually paid for all the things that she did to the students that she had. All right, the hardest and scariest choice will lead to the best reward. Each character, like I said from the previous slide, is always given the chance to take the easy way out or go the hard way. And sometimes facing your biggest fears are what is going to get you the greatest reward. And so many of the characters in this book, and this is a great example. Those two, the Weasley twins, confronted Professor Umbridge, and she kept punishing them, so they ended up breaking out of Hogwarts and were very, very, very successful jokesters and opened a shop and made lots of money. All right, another one is you may never know someone's true intentions. Here you have Dudley and Harry. Dudley and Harry. Harry lives with Dudley's family. Dudley is Harry's cousin. And Dudley, when they were kids, was not very nice. And it grows throughout the book series to this point in the seventh novel where Dudley and Harry are kind of on a level of understanding with each other that they realize how much they actually meant to each other. Another instance where this happened is Harry's least favorite professor in the books is Professor Snape. And Harry comes to find out through Professor Snape's dreams that Snape secretly wanted to be with Harry Potter's mom, and he loved her, and he was sworn to protect Harry Potter, and Harry never knew that. He always thought that Snape was out to get him. And finally, true friendship will help you through any life issue. So these three are the main three characters throughout the whole novel series. You have Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Each one helps the other in various fashions throughout the book series and getting each of them through different life tests. Hermione is the overly smart one, always has the answers, but is very concrete and doesn't see the intricacies of certain situations. Ron is the exact opposite. He sees the intricacies and is smart, but not as book smart as Hermione. And Harry is the star. And all these things are always happening to him, but it's these two who are the supporting cast to help him through them. So each of these values or life lessons are taught by different characters or events throughout the series, and they're all life lessons that I learned from reading these books. And I hope this makes you want to read the books if you haven't already. So finally, for the activity, if this was with a class, we would be already reading through the books. So I would have my students pick a character from the book and write 3 to 5 sentences about a lesson that the character shows. And then I would have them pick a house that they would think that they would be in, and they would have to tell me why they would be in that house. Have a great night.